After the sequence, the episode cuts to the future. It's the day of high school graduation, and Mike confesses to Hopper he's not okay with the idea of moving on from 11. So does he create a story that helps him cope with his new reality, or has he really picked up on an alternate explanation of 11's fate? At the end of the episode, the gang is back playing Dungeons & Dragons. Using their Dungeons & Dragons characters as stand-ins, Mike tells stories about all his friends and what happens to them next. The show then cuts to their futures, indicating that Mike got it right with his predictions. But there is a story he can never tell, Mike says. The story of the mage, 11's character, L. As for the real story, according to Mike, 11 and her sister, Kali, devised a plan to help her escape at the very last minute. She had to make everyone, including her friends, believe she was dead, Mike says. Kali cast an invisibility spell on 11, then an illusion spell, making it seem like she had been swept up by the bomb. No one will ever know where 11 went, Mike says, but I like to imagine she's in a beautiful land. The show cuts to 11 walking through a landscape and finding a small town to live in. It is here, at last, that she finds peace, he says. Will asks, "How do we know it's true?" Mike responds, "We don't, not for sure, but I choose to believe that it is." Stranger Things fans have the same choice. What the Duffer Brothers said about the finale and 11's fate. There was never a version of the story where 11 was hanging out with the gang at the end, Ross Duffer told Netflix's press site, Tudum. Ross Duffer said 11's death or disappearance was integral to the story ending. 11 represents childhood, and the finale is all about the kids of Stranger Things growing up. For us and our writers, we didn't want to take her powers away. She represents magic in a lot of ways, and the magic of childhood. For our characters to move on, and for the story of Hawkins and the Upside Down to come to a close, 11 had to go away, Ross Duffer said. There was no way 11 was going to carry out Hopper's dream of her becoming a regular girl, essentially. The Duffer Brothers aren't ruling out whether she's alive, but confirm she's not coming back to the kids of Hawkins. That's the power of Mike's story, which allows her to remain a presence in their lives. If 11 is out there, the most that they could hope for is a belief that it's true, because they can't be in contact with her. Everything falls apart if that were the case. So if that's the narrative, this is really the best way to keep her alive. And it's about Mike and everyone finding a way to move past what's happened, Matt Duffer said.